The thief on the cross, the thief on the cross. I want to talk to you today about the thief on the cross. I have noticed with great frustration that whenever you start talking to believers, Christians, about the deeper and more overarching things of the Bible, things that are slightly controversial or maybe really controversial, somebody will always bring up the thief on the cross. It's appalling to me that the minute you start talking about the deeper things of the Bible or controversial things of the Bible, that Christians will object. They don't want to hear that. I guess it never occurred to them that if you actually sit down and have an adult conversation about controversial topics, maybe everybody learns something and they become less controversial. Or the fact that controversial topics, things that we disagree on, don't necessarily make it impossible for us to work together to achieve the kingdom of heaven. In any case, I'll lay that aside for a minute. But on the other hand, when would these conversations take place? They're not going to take place in church where the service is structured. And first you have a song service and then you have a lecture. And that's it. And as I said in a video yesterday, if that's your church structure, where does the fellowship come from? Oh, well, we have snacks and coffee around the table in the back just before and just after. Yeah, that's not adequate. That's not adequate at all. But the minute you start talking about these things, some believer will always bring up the thief on the cross. And the implication is we don't need all this deeper knowledge. We don't need to settle these controversial issues. We don't need to go deeper in the Bible because of the thief on the cross. He didn't know anything. He knew Jesus for 30 seconds and he went to heaven. That's a beautiful story. It's true, and it is an important story because it talks about the grace of God and his willingness to save us. But it ignored, look, if the thief on the cross is all you need to know, which I heard this again yesterday, and that was the implication. Well, we don't need all this other knowledge. We just need the thief on the cross. Well, if that's all you need, why isn't the Bible this big? Or it wouldn't even have to be that big. It would only need to be one page. But the Bible is this big. And God didn't write it because he didn't have anything better to do. There's a reason the Bible is this big and this dense. It's not only a big book, it's a very dense book. And you have commentators who have written entire series as big as a set of encyclopedias and commentary about the Bible. Why is that? Because it's so dense. It contains important truths that the church does not know and does not want to know. And when you start bringing it up, you're going to get kickback. And you're going to get people objecting. Well, we don't need to know all that stuff. All we need to know is the thief on the cross. Man, it's time to grow up.